Hi, I'm Commissioner Nancy Jester, and welcome to Facebook Live here. I think this is our first episode. I am back at Brannon Hill today. It's really one of two properties that I'm focusing on. This one's in District 4, and of course Presidential Condotel in District 1, that tower at the corner of 285 and 85, and the terrible situation there. But right now we're at Brannon Hill, and I wanted to check things out and see if we'd made any progress. I'm concerned because the courts and the lawyers involved have given the community an extension to continue their cleanup process. They originally had, I think, a 90-day period. To my knowledge, they had one cleanup. I came out, I cleaned up, I picked things up, threw it away, helped to move some stuff, and they did make some progress there, but I don't really see much more progress being made. I don't see any more cleanup happening, and I do see conditions deteriorating and more trash continuing to accumulate now, even as we removed some before. I see areas where they're making, an attempt to cut the grass and make it look more habitable, and then areas where they're just completely ignoring it. The county also has filed an in-rem lawsuit, which would give the county the ability to come to some of the buildings that have burned out, and those structures need to be either torn down or some of the debris removed. So that's a separate lawsuit. So anyway, so come this way with me. We'll walk. This right here, these sinkholes going on, you'll see this one is the original one that started when the last time I came was here, and then you got another one going on here. So this is a very dangerous situation, because the problem is if we had a fire, say, in that building, and right next door to it we did have a fire and that building burnt down. But if we had a fire here, they couldn't park a fire truck right here and address the situation. It's also hard for police. They have to navigate this in the dark. So it's very dangerous. So, and it's getting worse. So we'll keep going up.
They're trying to fill in some of these sinkhole areas with old tires.
So we've got another sinkhole. Yeah, so we've got another sinkhole that's been forming here, and again, that's the building, that debris there that just a few months back caught on fire, and it is just a pile of debris. And you'll notice in front of it we do have a lawsuit is being filed to be able to come onto the property and abate that from the county's perspective. But look down here. So this is a new sinkhole.
This is bullshit.
And you can see, I mean, it's just layers and layers of degradation in the foundation here under this. So, yeah, so we'll walk up this way. We'll walk up the hill. Again, that was recently burned out. And we can go over to it. Also, you can see, we'll stop here for a second. You see the water? So that's water coming out of some piping here. So we have a water loss here. And this is all on private property. We can't right now come onto this property as a county and do anything about that. That's your water system. Also, let me note for you that this community has a very large, substantial, unpaid water bill. And yeah, water still flows here. Imagine if you didn't pay your water bill. Would it be shut off? I deal with that every day with people that miss, a day, or, accidents happen and they didn't pay their water bill. But this community hadn't paid their water bill in a very long time. We still have water. So this particular lawsuit was filed to be able to come in and take that debris away. But until that goes to the court systems, we can't do that. So let's hope that the court system deals with that aggressively, quickly, so that we can abate that nuisance to some extent. So you'll notice too, there's a number of derelict cars that need to be removed. In fact, just today I was talking to the gentleman that's part of the neighborhood association, and I said, look, we have given you instructions about how to remove those cars. It's on private property. You can have them removed, and it doesn't cost anything. And then if an owner shows up to reclaim the vehicle, they would pay for the charge of that. But we're still seeing, look right there, look at those flat tires. They're still here. They're still here. And again, if we were making honest efforts, if the association were actually doing the cleanup, that'd be a no-brainer. That would be a no-brainer. They could absolutely come right away and get that taken care of. We're not cleaning up any of these areas. Nobody's mowing that or hacking that weed infested area back. And obviously there's a lot of bugs here. There's a lot of cats here, but there's a lot of bugs. I mean, every time I come, I get mosquito bites and spider bites, and the same is true today. So that's a health hazard. That big pile of debris right there is on the front side. We'll go to it. There's still garbage that's accumulating there. That is not being cleaned up. So it seems like there's a lot of window dressing on trying to clean up the property, but the real hard work isn't being done. And of course, that big sinkhole, that is going to cost a lot of money to fix. And I don't see any evidence that this community will ever have the resources to fix something like that. And so it's an actual safety hazard here on the property for the people, but it's a safety hazard for your public safety officials, particularly your fire and police department, that have to come in here and fight a fire and deal with safety issues. So that's a problem, because they shouldn't have to worry that one of your $1 million fire trucks is going to fall into a sinkhole. That's your tax dollars at risk. And so I don't see that getting fixed anytime soon, but yet...
You know, Commissioner, one person here just said it was the Zika and West Nile breeding ground.
Oh, it is. Well, I've already gotten several mosquito bites, so there's no doubt about that. I mean, and you know, we've talked to a lot of residents here since we've come on site. We've witnessed the residents sort of feuding with each other about their beliefs and hopes for the community, which has been interesting. There is, well, folks that believe that this can all be fixed with some sweat equity and hammers and nails, and they can fix it, and please leave their community to fix itself. That particular person happens to live and pay rent to a landlord for a unit in this burned out building here, this half burned out building. We'll go around the front of it this way. But then there are residents who came up and acknowledged this place isn't getting any better. Nancy, they say they're very concerned about children here, that they see good kids living here and they turn, you know, they go down the wrong path, that they're not, that no one is taking care of them, that no one is providing guidance, no one's helping with homework. And what's really disturbing is today's the first week of school, right? And so my kids are in school. It's DeKalb County, and we've seen a number of children looking at us through windows and also walking, a number of school-age children. And they're not in school, they're here. That's not okay. So this is one of those buildings, this half burned out structure. There are people that live in it, in this building, and they're paying rent to a landlord.
There's kids that live in this
building.
There's
kids, there are children that are living there right now, and they're not in school. So that is just terrible. We went into one of the abandoned units there, and there's still electricity in that building, so I'm concerned about that. I mean, that's a fire hazard, and we know we have fire hazards here. So there's this, look at the landscape. It's not getting better. It's not getting better. So I don't, you know, again, the court system and their lawyers have sought some more time to deal with and mitigate the problems here. And let's go over here to the trash over here. But I don't think in 90 days, if they hadn't already addressed these issues, they're not going to address it in 90 days or 6 months or another year. It's just, it's time. It's time to have somebody come in and take charge of this issue. And this is a dangerous manhole cover area where you've got stormwater drainage here.
Well, they actually
yeah.
fixed this
Well, you see
on
'em-
the
yeah.
cleanup day a couple of months ago, and it's already
Yeah, it's back
looking
again.
worse
Yeah,
again
it is.
than it did when they quote fixed it about a month or two ago.
So, you know, there has to be so much money to fix the infrastructure problems here, and again, even just cleanup is not really happening. So I think it's time to deal with it with all the tools we have. And you know, and it is sad because, quite frankly, this is a failure on many levels of many layers and agencies of government. We've got a lot of human service failures here. We have failure of government code enforcement. We have all, you know, there's enough blame to go around, okay? But here we are. So now we all need to get together and come up with a strategy to deal with the real human costs that there are here, because there are people living there, and they've been there for years. And I've asked them too, why do you stay? Why are you here? Why don't you choose to move some other place? And there's a number of excuses and reasons they give, but here they are. So we need to help them relocate. There's a lot of, I think, you know, layers of issues that these folks have. Maybe they have some health issues, obviously financial issues, but there's all kinds of other things that are going on. So we need to bring the social service agencies, some of the nonprofits here. These people need to be relocated, and this area needs to be rehabilitated. So here we are. It's sad. It's not getting better, and you know, we'll be back again to check on things, but nothing's getting better right now.
Well, would
So,
you think
yeah.
this is a place that we should have a DeKalb County meeting?
Well, I certainly think that we need to get all the agencies involved, the Housing Authority, the Children's Services, the Health Department, the county government, everybody, every layer of government that really has some part to play here in fixing it. I think they need to come here. I think they need to come and see this, and I don't think that's really happened yet. It would probably be very helpful to have a large tour with all these different agencies together. That's the problem, I think, even more so than physically being here, is that those groups are never physically together to talk about a comprehensive strategy. So I think it would drive the point home if we came here all together, but it would drive the point home. I mean, we could drive that point home, but what we need is people, or those agencies, those people, to get together and say, okay, this chunk you've got to take ownership of, this chunk I'm taking ownership of, and this is our comprehensive strategy to deal with it. Because the real sad part is this isn't the only place like this in DeKalb or even the state of Georgia. And the state has a role to play here. I think our legislative delegation and the state legislature in general has a part to play here, because if we don't have the right laws on the books, and we need some more legal tools to be able to deal with dysfunctional properties like this that are never gonna get bought by a private developer and rehabilitated such as they are right now without some sort of intervention, and a lot of it's going to be social service intervention for the people, then, you know, we need to work with it. We need to work with the legislature to develop those rules and laws. So that's where we are.
Now we heard some folks out here comment that they've lost faith in government. Now a lot of folks will have the chance to see this that may not go to a government meeting. Folks that live here. What would you say to a person who's lost faith in government that may find themselves in this situation?
Well, I think their loss of faith is certainly justifiable. I mean, we have people that are living here of their own account, 10 and 12 years, they're telling us. And when I ask them why you didn't move, you know, again, I get various stories. But one thing that is the same is that they feel that they've reached out to various officials or reached out to various agencies and been told, nope, no help for you. Don't have any help for you with this social service agency. This government official can't help, nothing we can do. Or they've been given promises, oh, yep, we're going to fix this, and then nothing happens. And you know, as one elected county commissioner, I cannot come in here and mandate what I would like to see happen. I have to work with my other elected officials, and I have to help bring these other agencies in here to look at this. But I understand why they're frustrated, because everywhere they have turned, and these are not powerful people, these are not wealthy people, these are people that many of them may have language issues, they may be an immigrant community, a lot of them are they've just been down on their luck for a really long time, and you know, have had very sad situations and stories that have brought them to this place. But they keep reaching out, and they feel denied, and they feel abused and neglected at every turn, and they feel hopeless, like no one is going to help them. And I want to say that they have an affirmative responsibility on their own to make some changes. They do. That we can't forget that part, okay? But some folks here, quite frankly, you know, when they're here 10 and 12 years, we have to look at their capabilities of making those decisions and changes. And so there is a need for social services here. I understand their feeling of hopelessness, their feeling of neglect. It's real. It's justified in many instances. So we got to turn that around. So we have to turn that around, and it has implications for all the people here, but it has implications DeKalb County wide, because your tax dollars are paying for you know, what's going on here, and people aren't paying their water bill here. That means you're subsidizing them every time you pay your water bill. That's a problem. So we've got to fix this issue. We've got to fix it as soon as possible, and if we can do it here, then we'll be able to replicate this in some of the other dysfunctional areas that we see around the county and, again, the state. So thanks for joining me, and we'll be back soon to give you an update and see what we can get to change here at Brannon Hill.